Every minute. All the likes.
Okay.
That tree's in the way.
All right. You're live.
You want to take these just in case the C took the ones out of the cooler.
It's okay. It's fine. It's fine.
Can I take one?
Is there more than one?
He has two.
Okay. Yes, one can be for you. All right, we good?
Yep.
You have all the things you need, your headphones and everything?
Yep.
All right.
Right here.
Calypso, you're right in front of the camera.
Is it filming?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's live. You're now on YouTube.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Wait, can I guess?
Hurry up.
Start off in the distance. Say hi.
Okay. All right, let's go.
Can you hear us?
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's live stream. As you can tell, we are here live Friday afternoon here at Disney's EPCOT Center. The kids wanted to go pin trading with mom, so that's where they're going to head out for a little bit throughout the day. I'm going to be chilling here right in front of Spaceship Earth, just inside EPCOT's gates as usual. We're going to have very little commentary, so feel free to chat down below if you like. Like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you enjoy anything at Disney, we are the place to be as of right now. Very spontaneous things that we'll be doing. I do not have the headphones plugged in at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and just let the live stream go with just this visual of EPCOT for all of you who do love the ambiance, such as myself. Today's forecast is going to be about 81 degrees as the high, a low of about 64. We've got a slight wind coming through that keeps it very chill. I would say even though it's 81 degrees, it probably feels like it's about 76, 77. It's partly cloudy, slight chance of precipitation later on this afternoon going into the later evening hours as we do have a cold front, so to speak, coming on through. Flower and Garden in full effect on this Friday the 13th. We will probably not be doing too much inside the park today. However, if they do think of it, if they check the stream a little later, we will honor the Beverly Challenge for today. So remember, for every 2 likes, I will take 10 cups of Beverly. So make sure that you have those likes locked in. No timetable as to how long we will be here. They will be making their new normal round around EPCOT, and then of course 1 lap around World Showcase. There are 3 of them, so there will be some significant trading, hopefully, that will be able to be done. Once again, like I said, Flower and Garden is in full effect. Flower and Garden started March 4th, runs all the way till about June 1st. And of course, there will be concert series that are happening throughout the weekends on the events. Not absolutely sure who's going to be in concert this weekend, but we have heard some exceptional acts for this year's Flower and Garden Festival. Their concert series is called Garden Rocks. So be sure to check the itinerary to make sure who's coming out on those weekends if you do want to stop on by. There'll probably be no taste testing today either. We're going to just kind of go by the wayside. A surprise live stream for Friday. We did plan on coming here for Flower and Garden on Friday, but what we did not expect is that the kids' spring break started today. We actually forgot all about the spring break, which starts, like I said, starts today, runs into next week. So there'll be some changes in the live stream schedule, maybe. We might just go ahead and go on as normal, where I will just live stream from specific parts of the park, as not to kind of add on to the stress of tagging along while they go pin trading. And we'll try to keep the kids as entertained as possible for this week. So don't be surprised if we don't have any live streams as concurrent as we have tried to be recently. Of course, here at EPCOT, one of our son's favorite attractions is Mission Space. We literally have to ride it almost every time that they come. But of course, that will change once we do get around to putting them on the orange version. I don't think he'll care for it after that. We did enter into Epcot's parking lot just around noon today. Parking lot was very full to the brim as far as the specific sections that we were led to. So I do imagine it is a very, very busy day here at Epcot, of course, as it usually is on the weekend, especially depending on who the concert is featuring this weekend. Of course, from what I understand, from what I remember, there were a lot of people that are performing. I heard there was 38 Special, Air Supply, I believe Flock of Seagulls is also performing this year, the Commodores, the Spinners, lots of classic acts that will be performing. I believe last weekend was ABBA that performed. We generally don't keep the afternoon schedules in that way. Actually, I think the only performance that we actually do stay around for is, of course, Boys and Men during the Flower and Garden Festival. We actually did not broadcast that last week because that is kind of like a special moment for the family. It's something that has grown into a tradition as long as we've been in Florida. We have always made time to go to the Boys and Men concert. Once again, Boys and Men comes for the Flower and Garden Special, Food and Wine Festival, which happens later this year. As of right now, it is Flower and Garden. Like I said, started back on March 4th and continues all the way until June 1st. Now, as you can tell, or as you may not be able to tell, but I could definitely hear the crowd coming in. Like I said, this is around that time where the lunchtime crowds start to roar in. Many of the booths for the Flower and Garden Festival did not open until 11 a.m., so just over an hour ago from right now. So the crowds are making their way in for that. And then, like I said, you'll also see some of the early morning crowd as they stagger, maybe lurking around, or they'll be leaving for the day to enjoy some of the pool activities at their resorts or their Airbnbs. And as I said before, this will just be a live stream, just a live view of Spaceship Earth as we sit right inside the gates of EPCOT Center, enjoying some of the ambiance and some of the crowds that are starting to come into EPCOT for the afternoon activities. Of course, many people who plan a lot of their Lightning Lanes experiences for later in the day, definitely taking full advantage of resting in and starting their day at Epcot at wherever their Lightning Lanes are poised to. And of course, the beautiful thing about Epcot, the beautiful thing about most of the parks is that there are the star attractions, and then there are a lot of what we call filler attractions, just things to pass the time. Of course, the go-to attractions for this particular park is always, of course, going to be Test Track and Guardians of the Galaxy, Cosmic Rewind. Another backup offering is for a must-do is the Frozen Ever After attraction and Ratatouille, both of them located in the World Showcase. Some of the filler attractions would be the Three Caballeros. You also have Mission Space, whether it's green or orange. Most people prefer green because that is the tamest of the two. And then, of course, you've got classics such as Journey into Imagination with Figment, Living with the Land. Another filler attraction is also the Seas with Nemo and Friends. And then don't forget the must-do, but also kind of a filler attraction nowadays has been Soarin'. Soarin' has had some fluctuating wait times over the last couple of months that I've noticed. It's either been the go-to attraction or it's been just a filler. I've seen the wait time as high as 55 minutes, but I've seen the wait times as low as 20 minutes. I would say if you ever want to judge to see how busy the park actually really is, take one of the busiest attractions and one of the slowest attractions. And if you see high wait times on both of them, the park is fairly busy. I don't ever really gauge it from the first attraction that I see because sometimes Spaceship Earth can be a little misleading because it is the first attraction that you see. Most people will flock to that first just to get the ride out of the way. And then you find the rest of the park is completely dead. However, if you do see Spaceship Earth with a low wait time period, that's a good indication that it is a good day just in general. But don't ever think that just because Spaceship Earth has a high wait time, that it's going to be a busy day. Because sometimes it's probably just because it's the first thing everybody saw when they came into the park. And as I said before, today's live stream is pretty much just going to be a live view right here from Spaceship Earth as the wife and the kids are pin training. They're just going to make their round. First, the number of pin training stops that are right here in front of World Celebration, just beyond Spaceship Earth. There's a good number of booths on both sides of the park, whether it be the Test Track side or, of course, the Figment side. Make sure to check the gift shops in various locations around the parks. They tend to always have a pin board readily available. Not a guarantee if they'll have good pins or not, but if you're just here for the fun, doesn't really matter. For instance, our kids just like the pin trade in general, so it doesn't matter what pin they get, as long as they get the characters that they cater to the most. And then, of course, there is World Showcase, where there are 11 different representations of different countries around the world. And I believe every single one of them does have a pin board available. You do have to do some searching for some of them. And of course, keep your eyes out for any of the other cast members that may be wearing pouches or lanyards. And be on the lookout for any of those pins that are facing backwards. Typically, if you see a pin back but you can't see the pin, that could be a blind trade, which is right up my alley. Or it could be a trivia, which again, right up my alley. And of course, if you enjoy just kicking back and relaxing on a Friday afternoon, with a nice view of Spaceship Earth. Like this video, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. This is pretty much what we will be doing for a few live streams within the next week or so. We actually had a surprise as we did not realize that our kids were going to be out for spring break starting today. We originally did plan on coming out here for Flower and Garden for Friday, also doing a little bit more of that flashback Friday that people have really enjoyed over the last couple weeks. Of course, like I said, because of the disk time, I do like to have a lot of throwbacks to previous days. I think that every day that we stream, I could always have some sort of tagline to reference the memories of the past. But today is Friday, so we will stick to the Flashback Friday moniker. If you are a fan of EPCOT, and you've been a fan of EPCOT since its creation back in 1982, like this video, subscribe to the channel down below, and let us know when was the last time or the first time that you visited EPCOT Center. Like I said, I'll be updating you guys on the forecast. As of right now, it is 12, just after noon. I would say that when we walked into the park, I would say it was about 79 degrees. It's going to be a high of about 81. We do have a nice breeze coming through, as we do have some rainy weather that might be making its appearance coming up this weekend, but it's followed by a cold front, so our temperatures will probably drop back down into the 70s, hopefully no lower than that. I think that our temperatures for this past week has been some of the best temperatures we've had in quite a long time. Obviously a lot better than what we had a couple weeks ago while the rest of the country was going through a cold spell. We also got a little dab of that cold spell as well, with some of our higher temperatures only reaching up into the lower 60s and some of our lower temperatures well into the 30s. We actually had some freezing elements even here in Central Florida. And of course, some parts of Central Florida was worse off than we are, of course, even with the wind chill. I believe up in Ocala, the low temperature at one point was 29 degrees, but the wind chill put it in the teenage digits, which is quite alarming for a lot of the long-time people who've lived in Florida for quite a while. Of course, most people have transitioned to Florida over the last 5 or 6 years, so they may be used to it. But I tell a lot of people that it's a different type of cold down here in Florida. And that is quite all right if you are like Fast Pass Radio. If you are ninja watching, that is even better. Let me know if you need me to tone down on the commentary. I just feel as if there needs to be something to be said. I don't like dead airspace. I try to fill in as much airspace as I can. But let me know if you do just prefer just a live look. I know that there's a lot of camera shots that are out there. I actually was listening to one earlier today of a guy. He's out there in Port Canaveral, Cape Canaveral area, filming some of the ships as they depart and come in. And he has just some light chatter going. Well, I wouldn't say light chatter for him, but it was a lot of conversation that he was making amongst himself to get kind of people in the mood for what he's streaming here. Kind of what I do like to do as well, kind of like a little bit of a mix of a live view with a podcast format. Lots of things happening in the world of Walt Disney today. I did hear word that Big Thunder Mountain might be readily available starting in the beginning of May. There is no official date as of yet. But Big Thunder Mountain, which just had its very lengthy refurb, and apparently they have changed the ending of the attraction. I believe someone did say that they extended the track just a little bit for the extension, so that's going to be pretty exciting to hear everyone's reviews on that. It's the first wave of some of the completed work that's happening back there in the new Frontierland area as they continue to do work for Piston Peak, the newest addition to the Magic Kingdom, which is going to be featuring the Cars attraction. And then, of course, the much anticipated Villains Land that I believe will be taking place on the other side of the train tracks. Hopefully, the final rendition will be announced soon. Of course, there has been some speculation and rumors that they will be changing a lot of things with that area. No confirmation, again, like I said, no confirmation on whether or not the rumors were true, if they've scrapped Villains Land or if he wants a brand new concepts to be made. I don't think that they would have done it at this point in time, because I think that most of their layouts are pretty much down to a T. Of course, Disney and other parks are known for their surprises, so we'll just have to wait and see as time goes on. I think that for the most part, they're just laying the land out specifically for the Cars attraction before they actually dig into the Villains Land. I think the schedule opening for that entire area is going to be about 2030, so they still have plenty of time to really get everything laid out. I do believe they want to open both areas at the same time, so I don't think it'll be a phased opening the way some people would like to have seen. But again, nothing is set in stone, as Josh tomorrow could change things up again as the new incoming CEO. I do believe he officially takes his throne at the end of this month, March 28th. And then Bob Iger will still be, he'll still be a presence until the end of the year. I believe is when his contract does run out officially. And of course, if anything, if you enjoy live streams from Epcot, if you enjoy live streams on Friday here at Flower and Garden, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And if not, just go ahead and continue to ninja watch if you must. As I said, we are here placed right inside of Epcot's entrance gates, getting a live look of Spaceship Earth. This is the duration of, this will probably be the duration of what we will be filming here for our live stream, as the wife and kids are inside the park, pin trading at the moment. The park just seems a little bit too busy for my taking for the most part, so I didn't want to be too much of an interference, bumping into people as we go along. If you're new to this channel, be advised, I am a blind YouTuber. I'm also a blind Disney cast member, a former, current, and future Walt Disney World cast member. Always, once a cast member, always a cast member. And sometimes I just choose to just sit back and relax and enjoy just the sounds of the theme parks, especially the chitter chatter of many people who are coming here for the first time or coming here for their 1000th time. Of course, one of the features of this channel specifically is just people watching and just getting some landmark locations that people do enjoy seeing in the background. I kind of got on this fix because years ago, when I did have the capability of seeing, there's a lot of times throughout the day, if I'm just at home cleaning or cooking or whatever the case may be, I just like to turn the TV on and just have something playing in the background as a visual of Disney. And of course, it's even better when you have those big screen TVs with those clear pictures. Kind of makes it seem like you're looking out of a window, straight into the park, straight into the magic. There is no time frame as to how long this particular live stream will be. As I said, my wife and kids are inside the park pin trading at the moment. They'll be making the usual rounds around the front of the park, which is called World Celebration. And then they'll make their way around World Showcase, where there is a plethora of pin trading locations. One of the cast members did inform me that there are actually just over 30 pin trading locations at any point in time, which does seem pretty accurate, because I mean, right off the bat, I could tell you there are at least 10 to 11 in World Showcase, one for every country. If you think of the rare occurrence where you might actually find multiple pin stations in the parks as well, as the guest relations does have pin boards. And of course, there is one in pretty much every gift shop here inside of EPCOT. All you have to do is ask. Of course, sometimes the pin boards are not available, so don't stress if they say no. Also be on the lookout for trivia. Some of the cast members in this park and some of the cast members at Animal Kingdom has had some of the best trivia that I've had. I wouldn't say that they've stumped me, but they definitely did educate me on a few things inside the parks. So be sure to keep your eyes on that. And if anything, if you do see a pin that is on someone's lanyard or on their pouch and it's facing the wrong way, that is either a trivia pin or that is a blind trade. I feel targeted when they do the blind trades, but it's all in good fun. This week's live streaming will be a little wonky because, as I said, we did get a surprise. We completely forgot about spring break for the kids. Their spring break actually started today. Our youngest had a field trip out to SeaWorld yesterday. So my wife and my son enjoyed SeaWorld, and my daughter enjoyed a after-school play date with her friend. And then, of course, spring break starts today, runs all the way till next week. So, as I said, our schedule is kind of up in the air. We may do some live streaming the way we're doing it now, where I just pick a location and I'm just going to enjoy the ambiance while the family does their pin trading. Also, be on the lookout. I am experimenting with a cast member experience set of stories that I'm working on. I'm doing it a little bit differently. I'm actually filming them as a live stream, but they're coming up private, so they won't be out there as I do it. But I'm hoping to edit that particular live stream and make them into a series of videos. So stay tuned for that. I'm getting fairly adjusted to talking to a camera, so there's going to be a lot of incoherent rambling, as you probably are used to. But hopefully I will get better as time goes on. I'm actually hoping on having a co-host. Hopefully it's someone that I can kind of banter off with for the most part. We'll soon see. Still a work in progress. Also, I think what we're going to also try, no guarantees as to how it's going to work, but we do want to try to do some other live streams, some other resort locations, so that people can get a feel of what it's like to be at a resort. And then that's probably where we'll go into more detail talking about these resorts. We have stayed at quite a few resorts in the time that we've been with the company. I could tell you for a fact the resorts that we have stayed at collectively, and of course me on my own. We've stayed at all the all-star resorts. We've stayed at Pop Century, Art of Animation, so we could check out all the value resorts off our list. We've stayed at all the value resorts. We've also taken advantage of staying at Caribbean Beach, Coronado Springs. We've also were gifted a stay at the Boardwalk by the Walt Disney World Company back during the pandemic. I have previously stayed at the Contemporary years ago, and for some reason I do have a memory of staying at the Wilderness Lodge, but I don't know if that's completely accurate, but I count it as one. And then, of course, one of our newest favorite resorts has been staying at Port Orleans Riverside, even though I would love to stay at Port Orleans French Quarter. I think that of all the value resorts, French Quarter could turn into my favorite resort once we stay there. It's very quaint, Very manageable, very easy to navigate through. My favorite moderate resort was always Caribbean Beach, but it is such a massive resort. And of course, if you're new to this channel, if there's one thing that you could tell by that sound, it wouldn't be a streaming without the screaming. And of course, if your kid isn't screaming during your Walt Disney World vacation, you didn't pay enough. I will also let everyone know if you are tuning in at any given point in time during these videos, we wouldn't mind doing POVs and ride-throughs and things like that, but we have had a couple of surprise copyrights added to our video, which basically means that we didn't have to edit the video or edit the segment of the video, which kind of like takes away from the video itself. But of course, once we start getting more of that added support to the channel, once we get more and more subscribers and more views, then all of that really won't matter. But since we're still a very small upcoming channel, we're trying to be as cautious as we can so that we don't get the hammer. Of course, like I said, this will be the view that we'll be taking on for the duration of this video. Here, right in front of Spaceship Earth, as you enter into the gates of EPCOT Center on a lovely Friday afternoon. Of course, if you are a fan of Disney and a fan of EPCOT, you know exactly what the acronym is for EPCOT. And of course, if you are a cast member, you also know a different acronym for EPCOT. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you have not, so that we can continue to bring you all the different viewpoints from different parts of Walt Disney World property. We're just getting to the groove of a lot of things too. I still have some other places that I would like to just prop the camera up and just have it playing in the background. One of our earliest live streams that we did just last year, found a nice little spot sitting right out front of the Haunted Mansion. Even though you can't hear much of the sound effects of the Haunted Mansion, it's still just a nice visual just to sit there and take it all in. Also, if you have been tuning into us lately, even though we won't be able to do it anytime soon, we were getting some great shots of Main Street USA right there at the Magic Kingdom. So far, we have caught several marriage proposals. I think there's at least 3 marriage proposals that we've caught on our live stream, 2 of which happened in the same day. We've also been able to catch 2 high school marching bands. And of course, every Tuesday we were broadcasting the Festival of Fantasy Parade at 3 o'clock. However, as I said last Tuesday, that was our last live stream for the Magic Kingdom until May. Because I am a cast member, I do have a cast admission ticket. But unfortunately, the Walt Disney World Company has blocked me from the Magic Kingdom for the next 2 months as to make way for the spring break crowd. Now, that isn't concrete set in stone. They can lift those dates if they really wanted to. That also depends on the crowd calendar. Does seem like the crowd calendar is going to be pretty solid this season, though. I do expect there'll be some slow times, but I think there'll be enough busy times to make up for it. So as of yet, there will be no Magic Kingdom in our future for the next 2 months, and I am blocked out. However, my wife, she could go. She has an annual pass. My kids have annual passes, so if they ever want to go without me, that would be A-okay as well. That would, if anything, that would just be me probably sitting outside the gates. Some people would think that would be cruel, but that's actually something I would enjoy doing either way. Don't you forget about me. And once again, I would like to thank everyone that has been checking out our channel over the last month or so. We have seen such an increase in most of our numbers. And of course, like as I always say, we appreciate anybody and everybody that has liked, subscribed, shared us across the vast community that we have grown over the last 2 months or so. Looking back at some of our numbers in our studio section, I'm greatly pleased. It's probably one of our biggest moves in the YouTube channel without having to have a 24-hour live stream, which we did have plans on doing this year, but we just never could get the right type of footage to bring a 24-hour live stream to you guys. But air could be one in the future. Who knows? We also have a lot of formidable plans that I would like to set in motion. As I said, we're still in the process of making some major life movements. We would like to be permanent Florida residents. Just waiting for the cooling of this housing market and some other things to work in our favor. I greatly think that 2026 is going to be a very close to fantastic year for a lot of people who've been anxiously waiting, especially us. I think there's still some room for some devaluing to go in some of the housing markets here in Florida, but I think that if we play our cards right and play it smartly, we will hopefully lock into something fairly soon. Praying and hoping for the best. And of course, if that be the case, once we do get some solid foundation, there will be no end to the different things that we could do now that I would say the biggest obstacle would be out of the way. And of course, having more home style vlogs and live streams is probably something else I would love to do in the future. Also, as I stated before, I would like to go and make some of our videos here in a podcast form. So I will forewarn some people that every once in a while there might be a video that pops up that may not have any video that comes with it. I will actually probably put podcast into the title so that some of you will know in case you don't want to click on it just to be clicking on it, or if you do enjoy just having a podcast conversation, as podcasting is a very, very favorite thing to do. I figure I've listened to enough people and their podcasts to say and have the confidence to say that I can do that as well and actually make sense in somewhat of some of the things that I say. I've actually had a couple of people that have actually told me to just go ahead and do the podcast, mainly because of our knowledge of the Walt Disney World Company, being the fact that we have been off and on cast members for the past 13 years. And the fact that I've been a lifelong visitor to the theme park. And of course, for some of you people that have tuned in, some people have enjoyed a lot of the memorable talks that we've had about the days of Disney's past. I do try to keep some of the conversation pertaining to the park that we're in, but sometimes when you get caught up in that Disney conversation, you can't help but talk about all the parks. Of course, one of the biggest things that many people probably don't even realize is that there is a memorable icon of pop culture nowadays. He was featured in 2 different attractions here in Disney World property. He was basically a voice, for the most part, of these 2 different attractions. I will name the 2 attractions that this particular pop culture icon has been involved with, and I will see if you can name that person who has now been basically erased from existence from all of the Disney audio. The first attraction is located right here, or I should say it was located right here at EPCOT. It is the former home of the Universe of Energy. There's a particular character that made appearances in the Universe of Energy, or I should say Ellen's Universe of Energy attraction. Also made vocal appearances in the now extinct dinosaur ride over there in Animal Kingdom. I do remember hearing of some stories that there was some issues with some contract negotiations because of the fact that Disney was using his voice in these attractions, and I guess he didn't feel as if he was compensated enough. I think that was resolved a long time ago, though. And that persona that had vocals in both Ellen's Universe of Energy and Dinosaur at Animal Kingdom was Bill Nye, the science guy. It's a bit bittersweet to know that you will no longer hear Bill Nye's voice inside the main queue area of Dinosaur, as that attraction is closed and is going to be rethemed and revamped to the new Indiana Jones attraction. Long awaited, long overdue. Hopefully it will be just as great as the one in Disneyland, with probably a new storyline, new theming. I'm not the one that's going to sit there and say that it should only be at Disneyland, because technically we did get the exact same ride, they just put dinosaurs in it. So I'm not going to get bent out of shape at the fact that we're getting a replica. I mean, it was already a replica of the same attraction, we're just getting a new theme with it. I'm very excited for that. Very excited for the Tropical Americas, especially to hear everyone's thoughts on it. Of course, as I've said in every live stream that we've had here at EPCOT, it seems as EPCOT's, for the most part, construction work is going to be very mild for the next few years. There hasn't been any rumors or speculations as to what could be done in the future. However, and if you're not familiar where the Play Pavilion was supposed to be, it is actually the former Wonders of Life Pavilion. That is a building that is located just between Guardians of the Galaxy and Mission Space. There was a hill just around that area that took you to the top of that building. It is the former home of Body Wars back in the 80s and the early 90s. And then once Body Wars did close down, it ended up being just an extra flex space for some of the other festivals that took place throughout the year. Of course, because we're celebrating Flower and Garden, Flower and Wine. I would love to drink all the time. Because we're celebrating Flower and Garden, the Flower and Garden Festival, when it was open, that pavilion featured a gardening class, amongst other things. I believe they also had some featured information based off of hummingbirds and how to keep pests out of your gardens. And then, of course, for the Festival of Arts, when the Festival of Arts first started to have its appearances, I believe only about 10, 12 years ago, I think, the Festival of the Arts. It's a fairly new festival. That festival in that pavilion led to quilting classes and other things, where you got to see people and their large embroidered displays. Of course, most of the time, that building does remain dormant. Even though they do keep up with the maintenance on that building, there is no word yet on what they will be doing in the future. The Play Pavilion was actually supposed to be a completely interactive attraction once you go inside. I think there was supposed to be some heavy interactions with the Goofy character and how he navigates through things. Like I said, that plan was scrapped due to the pandemic. Because it wasn't going to make the deadline. The original deadline for a lot of things opening at Disney World was supposed to be for the 50th anniversary, which was back in 2021. But because of the COVID restrictions and everything else, a lot of those plans were either diverted, and they just basically opened things up in phases. And of course, a long-standing rumor was, of course, the redirection of Spaceship Earth. There was supposed to be a very long refurbishment for Spaceship Earth, where they were supposedly going to be changing some scenes around. It was supposed to be a lengthy, year-long refurbishment. Once again, another thing that did get scrapped, as there has been no timeline as to when that will happen. And I do think it's fair that EPCOT does take a break from the constructions because they took such a long time for their construction to start. Actually, when I worked for the company as an overnight custodial here at EPCOT back in 2017, I was actually here when they closed down Ellen's Universe of Energy to make way for Guardians. So as you can tell, that construction started back in 2017, did not get completed until 2022 when Guardians did open. The Ratatouille attraction also took some undertaking as well. So there's been some extensive things done to EPCOT over the past 7 or 8 years or so. So I think it's fair to say that they could take a long awaited break, considering the fact that EPCOT was known for its walls at one point in time. Tiki Man, welcome back, as I was saying. Today's video is pretty much just going to be this view of Spaceship Earth with my occasional commentary just to fill in some of the dead space. Also to maybe fill in some of the space because there has been some choice language taking place behind me. I don't know if it was actually picked up by the camera. So I apologize. Nothing major. I would say, if anything, the following live stream is rated PG-13 for coarse language. As I hear it in the background, I was trying to kind of talk over it a little bit just to kind of keep the live stream clean for the most part. But I'm just sitting here right on a bench just inside the EPCOT gates, taking this wonderful view of Spaceship Earth as the wife and kids are inside the park pin trading. In the very beginning of the video, obviously, we had some, again, I don't want to say it was technical difficulty, it was a lapse on my part. I didn't switch the camera view. So the very first part of the video is probably a very good close-up of my beautiful wife. And then, of course, my clueless daughter, who just walked in front of the camera, didn't realize it. And then my very interesting son, who I have no idea what he did in front of the camera, but he was so desperate to be in the camera, and he probably did something, I'll just say, stupid. But they're off into the park pin trading. They're going to obviously do their normal rounds in the front of the park before they partake in World Showcase. It does seem to be a pretty busy day. The parking lot seemed to be a bit packed, which is customary considering the fact that it is a Friday. I'm not sure what musical act is going to be playing this weekend, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be. I mean, I think that this year has a pretty good lineup for the Garden Rocks. As I said earlier, I did see Flock of Seagulls, which of course is great for Guardians of the Galaxy. 38 Special, Air Supply. I believe ABBA was here last week. We also have the Spinners and the Commodores and I think 98 Degrees is something that's been said as well that's going to be here. So very exciting for a lot of the musical guests that are going to be here this year at Flower and Garden. Once again, Flower and Garden, which started March 4th, runs all the way until June 1st. We do plan on being back here off and on throughout that time frame. And of course, I can't forget this. Even though there's a few people that don't really care for it, we're actually going to relive the Beverly Challenge today. So remember, for every 10 likes, that is 2 cups of Beverly, while the wife and kids are inside the park. Hopefully that they'll keep track of the amount of people that have liked this video to make sure that we do meet our goal. I don't really have a goal per se, because it is a Beverly Challenge. But I know that people are suckers for punishment, and I will take on that punishment if need be. Our last live stream where we did the Beverly Challenge, I had to endure 4 straight cups of Beverly, even though there was about 9 people that snuck in likes just before the live stream. So in the last 10 or 15 minutes of that live stream, we got up to 30 likes, which would have been 6 cups, but I had to cut it short for the sanctity of my tongue. I know I didn't give anybody a good description of Beverly. Beverly is a disgusting beverage. I do not recommend anyone do that. I think that I do it for the sake of people that don't have to do it. One of the monikers that I do say in the video, or that I do say sometimes on our This Time Facebook page, is we do it so you don't have to. And that's exactly what the Beverly Challenge is. As a brief description of what Beverly tastes like, just imagine every horrible flavor you could think of in the world and vomit. That sums up the Beverly 100%. And of course, one thing, as far as updates to EPCOT, one of the things that I'm very much looking forward to is if they do remodel Spaceship Earth, I'm very interested to know who's going to be the next classic voice that narrates through the attraction. We did have a conversation a little bit a while ago about the other people who have voiced Spaceship Earth. Of course, one of my favorites was Jeremy Irons, of course, the legendary voice of Scar. I do believe it's time for an update, but it's like I would love to know who would people love to hear narrating Spaceship Earth. Of course, Morgan Freeman is probably going to be a number one on that list, because why not? But it'd be interesting to know what other person people would like to hear narrating the classic Spaceship Earth attraction. I'd also like to know who in the chat or who in our video that's been watching our videos is old enough to remember when the newspaper boy was on the corner facing the vehicles. That was one of my dad's favorite scenes. He's listening to the paper boy and looking at the paper boy as he billows out the headlines for that newspaper. That newspaper character has since been shifted to the back of that scene. His audio can still be heard, but his animatronic is actually facing away from us because of some irresponsible and inconsiderate people that had visited the park many, many years ago that decided to not keep their hands inside the vehicle. The story goes is that they reached out to possibly try to take the newspaper out of his hand, where they ruptured, I believe it's a hydraulic line. Of course, if you know hydraulic fluid, it is scalding hot. That scalding hot fluid did spray all over the animatronic's face, which disfigured him. The story that I heard is that there was no backup for that particular face. And I believe some of the animatronic parts in itself were also damaged. So instead, they just put him in towards the back of the scene and face him away from the crowd. But this is why we can't have nice things. And of course, if you are in here now, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. Let's try to get some of these live streams out to as many people as possible so that it just encourages us to keep on doing it. Because we do have a lot of other things that we do get distracted with, and sometimes we do forget to do the live streams. I would like to do the live streams as often as possible, at least every day that we're in the park. I would like to do a live stream, whether it's just me sitting at a bench taking in the sights and sounds, because again, I do follow a lot of YouTube channels that just do ambiance. I figure if those people can watch, if 18,000 people can watch someone else's live view of the same thing that we're doing live, why not just watch it while it's happening? Like I said, it's gonna be a high of about 81 degrees today, but we do have that wind blowing in. That wind, in my opinion, is keeping it into the mid-70s, mid to high 70s, I should say. So it's not too bad today. I would say for those people who want to take a break from that heat that we did have last week, this is a perfect rendition of that. If you missed out on our last live stream here at EPCOT, and don't forget, and we won't forget to still honor some of the things that we said we would do based off that last live stream. I don't know if Jenny's gonna want to do it today, but we do want to get one dish that I have never had before, and something that will be new to me, hopefully, so stay tuned for that. Our last live stream here at EPCOT was our first time here at Flower and Garden for the year, where we tried 4 different dishes. We tried the sticky ribs and also a garden flatbread pizza. Both of those were incredible flavors and incredible taste. I'm actually quite pleased because we actually did that. I would say the festival started March 4th. We actually didn't come out here till I think it was the following Monday. So again, a number of days have passed. I kind of like to let the first impression go by, see how they handle the third, fourth, and fifth day. Surprisingly, still very good. I would like to come here at least one or two more times during the festival before it ends to make sure that they keep up with that energy. We also tried the Moroccan, I believe it's a Moroccan wrap over there in the Morocco Pavilion, and also their stone bread. Those are very unique dishes, something I've never had before. I would definitely say not something I would go back and rush to do again, even though we did have the lamb wrap. I think I would probably like the chicken wrap. The flavor was good, especially if you like lamb. Again, but like I said, that's more of a dish that I wouldn't mind seeing at a quick service restaurant. Just something that's always there that I can just pick up whenever I do want to try it again, but nothing that I want to wait for a festival for, if that makes any sense. To be honest with you, I think that most of the festival food, I definitely always think that they should just make permanent on some menus. I think it would be a huge, huge uptick on some of Disney World's quick service options. And then, of course, I would be very inclined to try any of the beverages here at the Flower and Garden Festival, as I am trying to expand my taste palette just a little bit. And yes, just as a reminder, just to let people know, this is going to be the duration of our video right here in front of Spaceship Earth, as I am sitting just on a bench just inside the EPCOT gates. As I would say, another burst of a crowd may be forming over here to my left-hand side. Don't know if they're coming in or leaving, as people are starting to trickle in and out for the Flower and Garden Festival. Flower and Garden, which started back on March 4th, extends all the way till June 1st, with a wide range of food booths all throughout the park, along with topiaries and some unique flower patterns that only those with a green thumb can admire the best. Also, I also believe that they brought back the butterfly walk, which last time I remember was located on the right side of the park, just over here by Figment. I believe between Figment and the Land Pavilion is where you can find the butterfly walk. Just be sure not to touch the butterflies and try to keep your little ones from also touching the butterflies. Of course, like I said, the Flower and Garden Festival, which has a plethora of food booths scattered throughout the park. And of course, the concert series that happens on the weekends. Not absolutely sure who's performing this weekend, but I believe last weekend was ABBA. And there's a large list of acts that are going to be playing for the next few weeks. So be sure to check those weekends to see what dates you might be coming to Flower and Garden and who might be playing. A lot of that also depicts on how busy the parks will be. There has been moments where some of the concerts don't start till about 5:30, 6 o'clock or so. People will start camping out for them at 11 a.m. in the morning, depending on the popularity of the artist. And if anybody is in the chat, if you want to respond to this trivia question that I kind of overheard some time ago that I actually knew the answer to, surprisingly enough, the question was simply this. Zoe Saldana, who plays Gamora in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie series, she's actually been involved in a number of franchises. If anybody can name me another 2 Disney franchises or Disney affiliated franchises other than Guardians of the Galaxy that you would also have seen Zoe Saldana play in. The only hint that I would really give is that one attraction is located in the Animal Kingdom and the other attraction is located in Pirates of the Caribbean. Those attractions are based off of the movies that Zoe Saldana has had a role in. I'll definitely be checking the chat a little bit later to see if anybody can answer that question though. If they can name me 2 other attractions, or I should say 2 other film franchises that Zoe Saldana has been a part of, other than Guardians of the Galaxy. That's one of them. Yes. Now I will say this: the other one, she had a very small role, and she was only in one of the movies, so she was not in the entire franchise. She had one small role in one of the movies of this next very big franchise, Zoe Saldana. Let's see how fast you could type on that Google machine to see what other movie that you could find. Of course, I will say this too. I really would love to know if she regrets or if she was ever invited to come back to do the other films in that other franchise I'm thinking of, because that would make her very devoted to her craft, portraying the same character in the Guardians of the Galaxy series, also with her features in the Marvel series, Marvel Avengers movies, and of course her role in the Pandora films as well. Like I said, the one film that she had a small role in, she only had a small role in one of the movies in the franchise. One of the things I always wonder is she regrets not getting more roles in. When I will give the answer in just a few moments, and I'd want to know how many people even knew that she had that small role in that movie. Of course, I would say this was one of the earlier films that she probably ever did. I'll even give you the time frame of it was the early 2000s. Very popular franchise. One other hint that I will give is this franchise originated and was spawned from the attraction located in the Magic Kingdom. Now that should be a dead giveaway right there. Oh, I did say that, didn't I? Well, there you go. As you can tell, I'm horrible at the trivia. Just give the answer away. All right, now, in case you're just now tuning in, we are here live in front of Spaceship Earth, just inside the gates of EPCOT. This is where I will be for the duration of this live stream, unless I'm being told otherwise, as the wife and kids are inside the park pin trading. It is a exceptionally busy day, it seems, as the parking lot was quite full. Everyone here getting ready to get their eat on for the Flower and Garden Festival. All the booths have been up and running since about 11 a.m. As the spring break crowds start to make their way in, and of course we were surprised by our kids' spring break that started today. We had every intention of coming to Flower and Garden today anyway, but we didn't intend on bringing the kids. And then of course our schedule for next week is also going to be up in the air. If anything, I would expect if we were to live stream, it probably will be an occasional live stream throughout the week. It'll probably be the same as we're seeing now, where I just pick a nice spot to sit and enjoy the ambiance. Also would like to throw in some resorts in there if anybody is interested in seeing some of the live views around the resorts. As we prepare for the vacation season, many people are coming in wondering which resort they should stay at. I've actually seen a couple of advertisements focusing on the value resorts this year. A couple of the YouTubers that have been out there have recorded their videos for the All-Star Resorts and of course Pop Century, which of course is the favorited value resorts that are available. And of course they are preparing people to get ready for the summer celebration once again. As I've said several times in other streams, they're bringing back the water park option for your check-in day when you're staying at a Walt Disney World Resort. Basically, if you're staying at a Walt Disney World Resort, your check-in day is anytime after, I believe, May 28th. Your check-in day comes with a free water park day. Unfortunately, it is only for your check-in day. We do understand that a lot of people sometimes don't even come into Florida until later in the afternoon. So it does not benefit you if you're not going to be here before 3 o'clock, as most of the water parks will close about 5 or 6. But it definitely makes you, I definitely encourage people to split up their stay, pick their resort, stay for 2 days, then do a split stay, go to another resort. When they check out of their first resort, and get ready to go to their second resort, that is a new check-in day. So you can take advantage of the water park day option from that point on. And of course, at some point in time, when the rest of my family does catch back up with me here at the front of the park, the kids will probably act a fool in front of the camera. That's just what they do. However, I do believe they might be anticipating bringing me some Beverly. However, it cannot happen unless we have the likes to this video. So remember, for every 10 likes, that is 2 cups of Beverly. As a glutton for punishment that I am. Reading Tower, welcome. Yes, this is our video for the day. It's going to be a live stream right here at Spaceship Earth while the family is inside the park pin train. I'm just going to take in some of the ambiance of the theme park while you guys take in the sights. I did have to come in here and obviously run my mouth just quite a bit throughout the video. At one point in time, I did have to cover up some course language that was happening right behind me. So as I said before, this video unfortunately had to be rated PG-13 for coarse language. But by the way they were talking when they walked away, it could have been rated R. It was very close to that. A little bit of a Samuel L. Jackson language. Just to fill everyone in. As I said, the high today is going to be about 81 degrees. However, this wind does not make it feel this way. Feels as if it's a bit of a cloudy day. I do know that we have some precipitation that's going to be rolling in this weekend, bringing in a cold front for next week. So our temperatures will be somewhere into the 70s for next week, maybe even a 60 in there. So our winter is still in effect a little bit, which is kind of crazy because it is spring break. So it's going to be perfect weather for some people who are coming from the north, even though this will not be beach time weather for the most part. And apparently here in Florida, it sounds as if some of the communities have started to welcome back spring breakers for the most part. If you have not followed anything in Florida as of lately, over the last, I would say, 3 years or so, they actually put a stop to the amount of people coming down for spring break, limiting a lot of venues and a lot of bars and restaurants, limiting their hours, closing down a lot of roads, just making it a little bit difficult for the traditional crowds to come in. And of course, they felt it financially over the next couple of years after that, as many people found alternatives. So it seems as if Miami has relaxed a little bit of those rules and regulations to bring back some of those unruly crowds that they try to get rid of. And I think we're going to see a little bit of a pickup here at the Disney parks for the most part, even though despite we do have a lot of chaotic things that are going around in our country that is going to make it a little bit more difficult to travel. But some people are putting it all to the side to enjoy their time in Florida. Again, this live stream is being brought to you in part by the Walt Disney World Company as we sit here, right here at EPCOT Center. It's also brought to you in part by YouTube. If it wasn't for YouTube, this live stream could not be made possible at all. We're going to be parked here for the next hour or so. We've already been here for 1 solid hour already, so we'll see how long it takes before the family gets right back up here. Once again, though, we would like to honor the Beverly Challenge anyway, so for every 10 likes, that is 2 cups of Beverly that I will take. Hopefully they are going to keep an eye out on that, because if they come back out here with no Beverly, well, then there will be no Beverly today, because I will not make them walk all the way back through to get me some Beverly. That would be cruel, unusual punishment for me to have cruel and unusual punishment towards me. So yes, be sure to smash that like button, like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Hit that share button to let all your friends know if they want to get a good shot of Spaceship Earth and what it's looking at on this afternoon. now that we've taken in some of those silent moments for those ambience, I'd like to first of all talk to everyone about the Flower and Garden Festival. Of course, the Flower and Garden Festival is a great place to try the different flavors from different places around the world, and of course, the wonderful booths that are located just in the front area of the park, just on the other side of Spaceship Earth. But also, do not forget that EPCOT, in my personal opinion, has some of the best quick service options inside of Walt Disney World. You really can't go wrong with any of the food options, either during the festival or without a festival. The only places that I have not actually have tried at all is, unfortunately, the Connections Eatery, which is just on the other side of Spaceship Earth over here. I've also never tried the quick service in a few of the countries inside of World Showcase. There's also the Regal Eagle, which is located in the America Pavilion. And of course, my number one favorite is, of course, going to be the Yorkshire Fish and Chips, located in the UK. All right. Okay, so just to let everybody know, this is what's happening. So obviously I'm using my phone to do the live stream. And for some odd reason, over the last week or so, I am getting a lot of, let's just say, spam calls. And it's all from the same company, basically it's basically saying I'm signing up for some marketplace Medicare or whatever. I have no idea. So I'm trying to catch the phone call. So basically whenever it goes mute like that, it's the phone call coming in which deactivates the camera for the live stream. So I'm trying to catch it as quickly as I can. But the problem is that it doesn't play in the headphones, so I won't know until I feel the vibration of the phone just to my left ear. So that's one of the reasons why the audio probably keeps cutting off. That's another reason why I'm also getting text messages. So sometimes I lose my train of thought on whatever it is I was talking about because I'm trying to concentrate on what my phone is telling me at the same time. To fully explain that, I'd like for everyone to know, if you didn't know already, I am a blind YouTube vlogger. I basically accompany my wife as she comes to the park for pin trading and other things like that. It's just a way for me to get out of the house and enjoy some of the remnants of Disney that I have left. I don't mind walking around the parks with her, but sometimes I just find it just easier just to pick a spot and to just kind of live it up with the music and the sounds of everyone else having a great time. I have a very vivid mental image of all the theme parks as far as what I remember from them, and sometimes what my imagination does carry with me, as there's been a couple of things that I've never actually physically been able to see, but I do have a vivid imagination on how I've created them in my brain. For those of you who did not know, I have been battling glaucoma since 2013. It actually took most of my vision completely in the year 2021. So I could definitely say that since then, I've not seen any of Ratatouille or any of the attractions that came after 2021. And of course, ironically, I never got a good look of Rise of the Resistance in Star Wars Land. Because of the way that Disney had it set up at the time, it was very difficult to get the Star Wars area, especially if you were a cast member, because it was just difficult to get into Hollywood Studios. And then from there, we always miss the window of opportunity to get into the queue line, the virtual queue. So it wasn't until about 2 years later, since the opening of Rise of Resistance, that I actually finally got to get on it. And by that time, my vision was very minimal, so it's very, very, very little that I did get to see and remember of that attraction. However, I do think it's an outstanding attraction, especially if you're not even a Star Wars fan. I think that attractions like that really could show some great future for other attractions if they wanted to continue to be creative in that sense. I would actually love to see, like I said, one of the things I would love to see Josh tomorrow do for the future of the Walt Disney World Company is to actually start to go back to creating original attractions that people can familiarize themselves with before they make them into movies, instead of just capitalizing on just putting intellectual property into the parks. But that's just me. But then, back to the food series here at EPCOT. I have gone to a few places inside of this theme park as far as quick service and sit downs. The one thing that's on my list of things to do is, of course, the Cellier, the steakhouse located in Canada, and also Garden Grill, which is the character dining located in the Land Pavilion. And that actually overlooks a portion of the Living with the Land attraction. One of the reasons why it's also very important for me is because it is an all you care to enjoy. And let's just say that I can eat people out of house and home and neighborhoods. My daughter is right behind me, and apparently our son, who's taking a little bit of a growth spurt, he's also eating quite a bit as well. So I think we're going to be an all you can eat buffet type of family for the near future. Even though my wife does not eat as much as we do, we can definitely eat as much for her. And like I said earlier, we will still be honoring the EPCOT Beverly Challenge for today's live stream. I know this isn't an exciting video, it's just a viewpoint of Spaceship Earth, just to let people get a glimpse of what's going on in today, in case you're not tuning in to someone else who's probably getting on all the rides as they're braving the crowds for the most part. And I'm pretty sure there's probably not that many people that remember old days of EPCOT, but back in the day, I do remember one fond memory of EPCOT was as you go around World Showcase, every once in a while there'd be a double-decker bus that would drive around World Showcase, stopping in various countries. And inside that bus was a cast of characters that would come off and entertain guests for a few moments before packing it up and moving on to the next country. During the pandemic, they did revisit this idea a little bit by having cavalcades that made its way around the World Showcase. Every once in a while, you would see various characters, and of course, one of the most famous cavalcades was the horse-drawn carriage featuring the Frozen characters, Anna and Elsa, as they made their way around World Showcase as well, with some themed royal fanfare music along the way. Just a little something extra that the Disney parks could do in the midst of that pandemic chaos that we were experiencing. Also, one thing that is never on the itinerary for anything that Disney does is what they call the Character Palooza. The Character Palooza does have a couple of spots that they do it in. It's generally at the time where they're just introducing some new cast members, character attendants, and things like that. So they'll have a specific alleyway. Sometimes it's the alleyway that's located in the American Pavilion. Sometimes it is the World Showplace alleyway that's located between the UK and Canada. Basically, it's a spot where there'll be at least half a dozen unique characters that will be making their appearance. Sometimes one of the best ways is seeing Pinocchio, Miko, and some other rare characters that you wouldn't normally see. I do believe there was a Characterpalooza one time where Jiminy Cricket was even spotted. So very unique when it comes to those. So just keep your eyes open for any of the unique things that Disney does. They sneak those in every once in a while. Like I said, they're never in the itinerary. They're just kind of like random pop-ups. Another random pop-up thing that they have been doing as of lately, because of the popularity of the pins, they've had what the cast members have called pin paloozas, the same effect. Usually there's about half a dozen cast members that come out with pin boards, and sometimes those pins on those boards are very sought out pins. You'll definitely see some vulture-like activity. People that can be very, let's just say, competitive in a way when they want to get those pins for various reasons. And typically the Pinpalooza, just like with the Characterpalooza, sometimes it's only about 15 or 20 minutes that they're out, and then just as quickly as they appeared is just as quickly as they disappear. There's no distinct time frame for any of those events that happen, if they do happen. I would say the Pinpalooza is probably a little bit more likely to happen than the Characterpalooza is, as of yet. But of course, there are lots of things that everyone else can showcase because they are like clockwork. But of course, we do tend to like to tell people the things that you don't normally see and that won't pop up on your My Disney Experience or on any of your Showtime guides or anything like that. And of course, if you're a pin hunter like we are, if you don't see any pins in certain locations, don't be afraid to ask a cast member. They will likely be able to point you in the right direction. Like I said, there are over about 30 pin locations here in EPCOT alone. From what we understand, almost every gift shop does have a pin board. Almost. I think the only place that sometimes has it and sometimes doesn't, more than likely doesn't, will be the main gift shop. The former Mouse Gear. And now it is the Creation, I believe that's what it's called. And also, don't be afraid to ask for trivia. There's a couple of cast members here at EPCOT that did have some very good trivia questions. And like I said, there's a couple people at Animal Kingdom that's given me some good learning trivia questions. And there is 2 ladies at Magic Kingdom that gives me the trivia questions that really make you think. It's more Walt Disney trivia than it is theme park trivia. So test your knowledge, fresh up on stuff, and learn a few things while you're here at Walt Disney World. And even though it is a cool day for some, like for me, I'm very relaxed. I kind of regret wearing shorts because even though it is supposed to be in the 80s today, that wind makes it feel a certain way. But of course, for those other people that may not be used to this, as always, stay hydrated. Make sure you drink plenty of water. Get inside some of that AC. Like I said, this isn't too bad of a day. I would probably say, even though the high is 81, I would say that high probably still won't come for another hour or so. It does feel like, obviously you guys would probably see it better than I could right now. It feels like it's a little cloudy outside, as the wind does seem to pick up a little bit. Don't know if it's actually picking up on the camera at all. I'm actually protected because I do believe I'm sitting up underneath an awning. There is a chance of some precipitation later today, as we do have a cold front coming in just in time for spring break. And I will definitely like to experiment again. I'm going to give you guys a little tidbit to something that I would like to see us do in the future. Like occasionally like I said, I do like to have these little ambiance shots of Spaceship Earth and various other parts of the park. I like to do a lot more of those as my wife, like I said, will go inside the park and penetrate. And then what I would like to do is kind of like take these videos and maybe put some sort of a music backdrop to it. Of course, we are not privy to all the technology because we're still learning. Just want to figure out where I can get some good, clean music that I could play for over an hour so that we could replay some of these ambiance shots. Because, again, it is a huge thing in the community that we have been involved in. Some of the things that show up on my recommended are all ambiance, 4K WDW, does a lot of walkthroughs, and then there's a couple people that create AI images to Disney music. I want to bring people the real deal, so that it's kind of like double take. It's like I'm filming a live stream where you get some slight commentary. Of course, if you ever want to talk about anything, leave a chat down below. I try to give some live commentary as things pop into my head. And then if push comes to shove, I would like to take these videos, recycle them, slap them to some of the iconic music that you hear in the background, uninterrupted, on some loops. As that's one thing that I do like to do. Sometimes when I do have the house to myself, I will just pop in a video that just has some ambient music playing in the background. Of course, some of my favorite soundtracks being Pirates of the Caribbean and The Haunted Mansion. I actually have an iPod that is inactive at the moment. I cannot find a proper charging port for it, but I actually have a couple of ride audios on my iPod that I would love to see if I can get those put on YouTube myself without having copyrights onto it. And I'm pretty sure FastPass might be able to relate to this. I'd love to know if FastPass has this in his library. I have the original cue music for the original Test Track attraction that's located here at EPCOT. Back when the original Test Track attraction, which featured the crash test dummies, were part of the pre-show package, not the band. Of course, let us know in any comments on any of the previous videos. Let us know some of the other content that you wouldn't mind seeing, even if it is just a standalone shot. Like I said, one of the biggest things that we did last year while my wife was penetrating in the Magic Kingdom is I would just sit right outside the exit of the Haunted Mansion, where you just saw the Haunted Mansion for the duration of that live stream, and listening to the crowds as they go by. We've had some success this year, of course, with our 3 o'clock parade viewing right there on Main Street, USA. Like I said, something that we're not going to be able to do for the next 2 months, as I am blocked from that resort, blocked from the Magic Kingdom. So we'll try to bring you something else throughout the week. Of course, like I said, our kids are on spring break as well. So bear with us as we navigate through anything that we will do in this particular week. I knew you would, FastPass. I knew you would. Yeah, I have I'm gonna have to remind myself to either text you later today or call you at some point because I think we have some questions on what type of music could we use if we want to create videos using music as just a background loop. And if anybody knows of any applications that we could set up these videos. Because a lot of things that we use right now have, they give you like little free trials or little freebies, but it doesn't do what my wife wants it to do. I think that my wife really leans to just making ambiance videos more than anything, while I would like to just continue with the live stream, continue with the conversation. Like I said, we're still navigating through the technology part of things. But the problem is that there are so many different applications, so many different programs to use, and we're just looking for the right one. There's also something that my wife wants to do. She wants to be able to create water effects and lighting effects on various pictures that she takes, to also create some ambiance music, or I should say ambiance videos with music in the background. One of the videos that we clicked on this morning that I just absolutely just fell into There was actually two of them featuring the same attraction, just on different coasts. The first one was the Pirates of the Caribbean queue music, and apparently the video had just a picture of the Pirates of the Caribbean attraction. They had some trees moving and some other things like that. That's something that, again, like my wife would love to do. It's like a 4-hour loop, though. And the other one was, of course, someone has captured the music from the Pirates of the Caribbean scene that's featured in the Blue Bayou restaurant. If you're not familiar, Pirates of the Caribbean in Disneyland, you go through this bayou scenery where you pass by this little hut, and someone's playing a banjo, faintly in the background. That's exactly what was playing in this video, and I believe it was, from what my wife said, it was a picture with the stars and everything in the background. That's kind of like what my wife wants to do for the channel as far as videos go. And of course, as far as live streams go, it'll just be the occasional walkthrough and then a lot of things like you see here, with some flashback memory talk. I believe, I didn't know, yeah, okay. I knew you had a lot. I didn't know you had that many. And yeah, and that's the thing too. I don't really know how that works as far as, like if you purchase music and you go to put it on, let's say YouTube. Let's say I purchase a song independently, but then I cannot use that song on YouTube. Like I wouldn't be able to make a video with that song playing in the background without getting a copyright strike. I always get confused. I know people tell me a million times. I always still get confused on how that part of the licensing works. If not, if we ever do ambiance videos, what it'll be is, it'll probably just be me making the musical sound effects with my mouth. Maybe some a cappella serenades, just to avoid the copyrights. Oh, are you serious? Oh, well, that's I need this music in my life. So, like, my iPod, which is, like I said, my iPod, which I know where the iPod is, but if for some reason the charging port, or the charging cable does not work, and apparently they don't make iPods anymore, obviously. I have a lot of music, and I really don't even know where I got it from, but it's music from Main Street USA. I've got several audio recordings of the Haunted Mansion, the entire attraction. I've got the Pirates of the Caribbean queue. Just a lot of things. I just really don't even remember where I got them from. And I would love to know if I could, like, get those again somehow, just to have playing in the background. Especially, like, you know, like, again, we're going to probably want to utilize the pool as the summer months come on. And one of the things that I like to do anyways is I like to have music playing by the pool. So, you know, like Pandora is good enough, but again, the ads on Pandora is just annoying. Or else I'd be playing Pirates of the Caribbean music all day long from the original sound, or from all the soundtracks, I should say. So it always makes me wonder, because we'll see people's videos and they actually have like the actual music. And so then I kind of wonder, like, well, are they monetized for this on YouTube? Or, you know, obviously I would say some of those channels have other support that comes in their way, so they can continue to kind of provide that content for, I guess you could say, free. It's just such an interesting tangled web that YouTube weaves. And I could kick myself because I've always been interested in doing YouTube content, but again, didn't really take it into notion until it was too late. Like I said, if this was 10, 15 years ago when I could see, I probably would have been able to navigate the way that the professionals do now, be able to know exactly what I have to do and translate that to my wife. But it is a constant learning experience. Like, for instance, we did our last live stream here at EPCOT. And we figured we were safe because we've had filmed on Journey into Imagination with Figment before with no issues. And we figure why not? You know, people want to ride a ride on our live streams. We sometimes try to accommodate that as best we can. So we went to Figment. We rode Figment. Turned out pretty good. Then we got a notification that says that a portion of that video could not be used due to a copyright. It was about 30 seconds somewhere in the Figment attraction that we couldn't use. So I don't remember if we had to like snip out those 30 seconds or if it went mute. We did have some videos back in the day, I'd say about last year or so, that we put out where the complete ride, like It's a Small World and the Little Mermaid attraction, literally huge chunks of the attraction just had to be muted because of the copyright. So it was definitely a learning process, but it confused me because I've seen so many live streamers that do those attractions, and it's like, are they just not caring, or do they just get so much in their other revenue sources? You know, like again, I would love to broadcast everything that we do throughout the day that we do it, but it kind of defeats the purpose if, you know, we're trying to get monetizations and things like that, and yet we lose that all because of a copyright to the audio that's being played in the background. For instance, one of the reasons why, we want to go to Universal Studios. We want to live stream from Universal Studios. We know that we can't get on any rides at Universal Studios, so that's kind of an excuse. But Universal Studios has so much copywritten music that plays in the background. So then it makes it difficult because it's like, well then, do we want to do a video that will basically not give us anything? And I get it. Lots of people, they have, you know, like for instance, everyone has their PayPal and their Venmos attached to their account, which we do in our video, in our page description. And then a lot of people, it's kind of like the super chats, but then you find out that the super chats, you have to share those super chats with the copyrights, which is fair. I don't mind doing that. I just feel as if we're not in the position to share anything as of yet. We're still a growing channel. And of course, this stuff does get expensive. Yes, so yeah, that's what I was wondering too, because like, yeah, so that was my thing too. Is I don't mind not monetizing things if we're just trying to provide the content. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like, you know, like that's kind of like what we want to do. We want to get at least the ad revenue for the videos that we are putting out, or the live streams that we're trying to put out. So that's kind of the big thing of what we're trying to navigate through right now. Like for instance, like when I go to Hollywood Studios, I would love to go to Indiana Jones and the Frozen show and the Beauty and the Beast live on stage. But now that we are monetized, we go back and we look at our previous videos, and yes, there are strikes to those videos because of the music that is playing in the background. And I know that there's things that we could do to try to cover that up. That's why if you've ever been on one of our live streams, there are various areas that we know that there are copyrights, and we'll try to talk over it. I'll just kind of ramble and make useless noises as we go through that. But I don't want to have to keep doing that, because then that will interrupt other people's experience with the attraction as well. Because like I said, I would love to go over to Indiana Jones. The Indiana Jones Stunt Show, one of my favorite attractions at Hollywood Studios. But yet, you know, again, because of the copyrights, probably can't showcase that entire attraction that way. Oh my. Don't kick the chair, please.
Guess what I brought?
Oh.
Your son wants to take a tiny, tiny little sip of this Beverly, so...
How many did I get?
2. Isn't that what
Oh, so it's just 10? Okay. Okay.
This was for last video, right?
Oh, okay, we can do that. Okay.
Yeah, this was for last video.
Okay.
All right, sit your stuff down right here.
All right.
Let me.
You gotta get in front of the camera. No, get in front of the camera. You're gonna do this. You're gonna take the tiniest sip of this.
Wait, I have to do it?
Yeah, get on camera.
All right, hold on. Let me unplug. Okay. All right, hold on. Let me preface everybody. Okay, so if you're tuning in, they have brought me 2 cups of Beverly to honor the last Beverly challenge. My son wants to take a sip of the Beverly. Is he in the camera shot?
Yep.
All right, so hold on, Titan. All right, so
take this one.
we're gonna have
Titan.
Titan
When I say a tiny sip, I mean the
take a
tiniest,
sip of Beverly.
like
Hopefully he
the
does not throw up.
tiniest sip.
You want to get in front of the camera too?
It's so backlit though. Can I try? I want to focus on him.
Okay.
Hold on. Hold on.
Right,
Can I unplug you for a second?
Oh yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
And take your. Can I take your thing off?
What thing?
Your talking thing.
Oh yeah, hold on one second. Hold on. Okay, hold on one second. Let me do that. All right, that's off. Unplugging.
Okay, I mean the tiniest sip. Do you understand? Hold on. Can you come over here? You're like, I can't see you. Okay, tiny. Okay. Like you ate so here. There's one.
I think I ate soap.
There you go. Oh, you said soap? It's good stuff. That is really.
It tastes like soap.
Are you saying soap?
Yes. It tastes like
I don't remember.
a tub of soap. And just
Whoops. Whoa, what happened here? I can't remember what it tastes like. I haven't had it in years.
Oh.
Oh.
I can't remember what it tastes like.
Well, you guys just took a sip. I drink the whole cup.
Yeah. Oops.
I kind of took like
Now
a,
I'm sticky though.
I kind of took like a longer sip, but then I was like, oh wait, a tiny sip, because I forgot
Yes.
it was gold. Yep, no more of that.
And just think, I do that almost every time we come.
I
Yeah.
think I ate a tub of soap. It just tastes
Good stuff.
Oh, it's over? Can I watch it?
No, it is not over. Would you stop saying that?
It's live.
Jeez.
All right, so what's the agenda now? Are you guys done here, or?
We're
No.
done. It is unbelievably crowded.
Yeah.
The spring break crowds have arrived.
I
Can we-
definitely said that. Yeah, what's up?
Can we go to
Titan, get out of the camera shot. Stop. Yeah, it is so packed back there you can barely walk.
I can hear the crowd. Yeah, I had to put in the chat because I was trying to talk over some of the. Every time I sit here,
Yeah.
people just have a lot of things to say.
Uh,
So I was like, oh, well,
Yeah.
this video is rated PG-13.
yeah.
In a few more minutes, it'll be rated R.
Yeah.
How long has it been filming?
It's been about 2 hours almost.
1 hour.
Oh, just
It's
well,
been
12 minutes.
1:12, so.
that's it. 112.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been here for a lot longer than that.
I want to go to the playground.
I wondered how long it would take us to get around World Showcase because it was so busy.
And I want to go to the fire basket.
Okay. Okay.
All right, so all done.
Yeah, whatever you want to do is fine.
All right, so
Oh, did you? I'm sorry to interrupt
okay,
you.
okay.
You let them know that next week is we don't know what's going on.
Yeah, because
Okay.
the unknown. Spring break kind of snuck up on us.
Yes.
So forgot what I was gonna say, but yeah, as of next week, we don't know what's gonna happen. So again, as always, hit that bell
That you're gonna get in
notification.
trouble.
Make sure that you have the notifications set to all, and if anything, keep refreshing your YouTube anytime after 11, 12 o'clock. You never know where we'll be. That is going to conclude today's video.
He wants to say like and subscribe.
Hold on, wait till we get there.
I
Wait till we
know,
get there.
but when we're ready.
I didn't know if you heard him.
No. Forgot what I was saying. All right, Titan, jump in front of the camera.
Hello. Make sure to like and subscribe.
And hit that bell notification for all the chaos that happens inside the
I
channel.
didn't know what to say.
Hopefully you've enjoyed today's video. As you heard my son say, make sure you smash that like button. Give us a big thumbs up.
And make sure
Unless it's gonna
to
get here.
subscribe.
And subscribe to the channel if you have not. And we will see you next time on
This time, daily.
We don't even know.